Have captured a zone.
Attention to the designated grid zone!
Yes, a hit.
Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder, and welcome aboard the Warbus, the Ratel 90, the new South African / British 6.7 light tank, as it is called. But this is really more like a school bus the size of a mouse, trying to be fast. And you know, at the moment we have to look at the speed because it is just such a good representation. We're not really fast, right? Off the spawn we take so long to get to the paved road, and this is one of the big maps where there is actually a paved road leading close to the objective. And now still 35, 36, 7, 8, 9, 40. Come on boy. 48, 50. Come on. 55. Okay, let's throw this thing off the cliff. There we go. Finally we accelerate. 80. 85. And then we kind of don't accelerate anymore, despite being on a paved road, which is the best ground that you can put any sort of wheeled vehicle on in War Thunder. And you can see the green light in the bottom left corner. This is the driver assistance mode, which keeps me controlling this vehicle at higher speeds. And you think that I'm now the first of my team, but no, there is actually also a light tank that is already about to get into A, because this is how much time it cost me at the start. I want to point this out, that you are not really confused when you finally get your hands on this thing and then you realize, wow, this thing is not really that fast. And there are many situations that I spare you where a medium tank, where a Tiger 2 even would be faster, climbing hills, you know, dealing with inclinations, going through objects in your way, and you know, you're losing momentum, but also going through mud or on medium terrain. Most tanks are faster, so not really a good selling point for a light tank where mobility should be above everything else. And so you can imagine why this is not really something that you would preferably compare to a light tank, let's say an RE251, to name here the German premium one, or other light tanks such as the T114 or the M56 Scorpion, although that is technically speaking a tank destroyer. I'm mentioning this because we have here a 90mm gun that has 3 different shell types, and all of them are chemical energy based. So we have the stock OCC 6062 heat defense shell, a typical 90mm, 320mm pen, in this case 750 meters per second muzzle velocity, and you can see it goes easily through any sort of steel armor. The OE90 F1 HE shell, 13mm of penetration, really unimportant. And then as a tier 3 upgrade, the OFUM PH90F2 smoke shell, which is also pretty good and is the second source of smoke. So no solid shot, no APHE, only a heat shell which is usable, and maybe a smoke shell. Then some smoke launchers. You can drop artillery strikes, you can help your allies repairing, which is also great, and you also can scout. So those light tank abilities were missing so far in the British tech tree of rank 3, 4, 5, you know. So this is really great, and it just complements a little bit the British lineup of 6.7. While the 20 pounders are gone from 6.7, this thing is still there to support the Tortoise and the FE405, so you have in this sense a lot of versatility. Let's make it quick. The 6.7 seconds reload are on par with all other 90mm, and there is nothing wrong with it. But it's just too big. It has no real armor protection. The best is really 20 millimeters for the lower glaciers. From the side it's only 8 millimeters, so you can easily kill it with 50 cals. Not just from planes but also tanks. It's really difficult to miss this thing with bombs, rockets, missiles, RT strikes, you name it, and it will not get better with the upcoming changes to the HE shell overpressure mechanic. But sniping with this at long range is something that previously, yes, the 20 pounder was really capable of, but you had the problem of bringing the 20 pounder to the battlefield because of the rather slow speed of the British tanks. And this is now, under special circumstances, a possibility for the British to bring some good team support to, well, the front line or to the flanks. I think overall, to be honest, that the SARC Mark 6, the 6 pounder, is equally capable of doing this, because this thing is so slow. And the Eland or Elan 90 Mark 7, which sits at 7.0 and is the successor, will be significantly more usable, and I will make a video about this as well. So, Ratel 90. I think that scouting and artillery and helping your allies repairing is really important. But this thing is just so weird, so huge, so slow, and yet it can be so fast. It is really a unique experience. It's not competitive to the likes of M56 Scorpion, RE251, etc. But at least it gives the British, as one of the last nations in the game, the 90mm heat experience at 6.7s. And I think that this is a mandatory thing in the tech tree these days. It manifests here the power creep and feature creep versus steel, and you can see how the German steel armor has absolutely nothing against this heat FS. But hey, it is what it is, and I can feel how good this is for all the British tankers. But still, it has a lot of downsides. But when you do then this, you can call it spawn camping. I'm not a fan of this, but this is finally where I can make this tank work. So, let's enjoy this while it lasts. And yeah, let's also talk about the rest of the remaining gun handling, because it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Because we have 8 degrees of gun depression, 15 degrees of gun elevation, we have a turret traverse of, which is a really weird value, 23.8 degrees per second for a fully spaded, trained ace crew, and then 4 degrees of gun elevation speed. And it's this gun elevation that is so weird, because this is being such a large school bus at war, you know, it wobbles quite a lot around, and when you try to brake, you know, it rocks forwards and backwards until it reaches balance. The enemy has found the target much faster on you. So in this aspect, another downside. I think overall it is a really unique experience, kind of hilarious and fun, and definitely with its advantages, as I stated. If this counters then the difficulty with the mobility, I mean, I could really make dozens of videos with various different scenarios. But this is really what matters, in my opinion, the most. This gameplay is quite representative for a best case scenario. So 7 kills already, and I think to myself, wow, this is going great, and we suppress here the enemies. Now you can see on the minimap we have all the objectives. I helped my team here out suppressing the resupply, if you will, from the enemy team to the front line, which is just really the selling point of any light tank. This strangling effect, this deciding aspect. That was aimed a bit too high, but the Panther 2 is pre-engaged with some others. He has no time to escape, and that was a clean second shot through the upper frontal plate. So I'm just hanging around, and if you found such a spot and you have support to the left and to the right, what can go wrong? This is what kind of helped winning the game, and the rest of my team also did their fair job. And yeah, there I saw my T-44 disappear on the side. And while I don't see here the Jagdpanzer 470, I spot something else. There you can see how long this thing takes to get to some speed, you know. And that is already on good medium terrain.
Victory will surely be ours.
I observed the region, I saw a shell, and that is a Tiger. Can we lob the shell over the ridgeline? Come on. And it worked beautifully, beautifully. That was awesome. And I was so tunnel visioned that I didn't see the Jagdpanzer 450. And while this shot was spectacular, it cost me, because I realized just a second too late that there is the tank. I should have focused him first. And yeah, that was 9 kills. That was the Ratel 90, a really weird but interesting experience within the British slash South African vehicle branch. And I will continue this line, but for today, that's it for me, and thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, give it a subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.